They're like, this is crazy. He's adventurous. He's courageous. Yeah, we gotta get him in here.
Get him in here.
Yeah, and so luckily, luckily all those things worked out. I worked hard for him, but if you can find a way to stand out, like you're gonna do really well when it comes to like, what do I do next? It's like, okay, well, you might have a lot of options of things you can do next. And don't be so afraid of them. Just go do one.
Repeat. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Grind Towards Success. My name is Zakka. This is episode 70. I'm here with another interview. This is gonna be a good one. I'm with Jack Skipper Blake. He is the head of content of the up and coming, I didn't say up and coming, I think just growing startup. You call it a startup, growing vlogging company / videographer company. Sorry about that. Just really a digital company is all you gotta do so much. But Creators Group is the name of the company in Kansas City. Now, Jack, he has been like all over the world. This guy started on a yacht as a skipper, and by being on this yacht for over a year, he learned to become a videographer himself, and now kind of found his passion. And then he came back to the United States and pretty much became a co-founder of a company, which is a pretty big deal. Like, if you're an entrepreneur, somebody who wants to start your own business, somebody who's already started a business and in a business, pay attention to this episode and pay attention to him. Anything? Oh, no problem. Anything you want me to say or anything you want to say before we get going?
Thank you for the introduction. That was awesome. The one thing I know is that I don't know, so that's all I got.
All right, so let's get started. So the first question, Jack, when I was going back on your Instagram, I like doing research on people I interview. I want to make sure I know about your background, where you come from, how you got to where you are now, and then where you want to go. So I noticed, like, throughout over the years, you started adding a little more motivational posts to your Instagram. You started adding more self-improvement quotes throughout the years. You started off kind of like just an average Instagram person, average person doing average things, like anybody else. You look at their Instagram like, okay, this is just a human being. And then all of a sudden you started to shift from just like an Instagram with random stuff on it to Instagram that had a purpose. And I want to ask you, did you always have that motivational mindset, or was this from like, because you did post Tim Ferriss on your Instagram, posted Gary Vee on your Instagram. Was it from those guys that your mindset started to shift, or did you always have that?
No, I think my senior year of college, I felt scarcity in like wisdom. Like I felt like I wasn't getting enough out of who I was listening to. Either my friends, like I'm not bashing on my own friends, but it was like I just felt like there was something else that I needed to be learning, and I wasn't learning it at school. I was taking entrepreneurship classes, and that definitely carried over into my discovery of Tim Ferriss, Lewis Howes, Gary Vaynerchuk, and all their podcasts. But my start of maybe motivational or inspiring content was really, I think, a need that I wanted for myself. Like I wanted someone else to be kind of speaking to me about the same topics, and I knew that if I was going to post it on Instagram, that I would either get one of two things. People are like, why are you doing this? And like, we don't care about this. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't care if you don't care. Or they would be really attracted to it, and they'd be like, I love what you're saying, and I think the same thing, and I would love to have a conversation about it. So it was really just my way of figuring out how to open a conversation at like a deeper level.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
That was definitely the start of it. I was interested in the 4-hour work week and all that kind of stuff we talked about earlier, but
right.
Yeah.
What about the 4-hour work week really caught you though? Like, what about that book Tim Ferriss made that's like, yo, I want this, I want to do this, I want something similar to this?
Yeah. Before this episode started, we were talking about how I felt like I wanted to make something for myself instead of just going and doing the 9-to-5 and sitting behind a desk and doing the corporate job. That was my path. My dad owns a travel agency, and so I think from when we were younger, we've always talked about how I would learn business and I like to travel, so it's perfect. I'll just take over my dad's company.
Okay.
And that was like the game plan.
Yeah.
And so everything kind of seemed straightforward for me. And when I really started asking myself, what do I want to do? It wasn't this business. And so I started listening to podcasts, and Tim Ferriss's The 4-Hour Work Week, that book sort of opened my eyes to the idea that I didn't have to necessarily work inside of a 9-to-5 specific location. It talked about living remotely and figuring out automation and delegation so that you can run a business from like an island.
Oh, okay.
And then the islands attracted me, and that whole idea just like kept me looking for more. And I had this big belief that I could just build a business online. I ended up buying like courses that are actually titled like How to Build a Business Online. Lewis Howes gave one.
Yes.
It was like $100, and I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna spend $100 or $300 or however much a course is at KU, like why not just watch a $100 course that Lewis Howes is giving? Because one day he's like who I want to meet.
Right.
And I've met him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's crazy now. Like so, like I don't know him at all, but I've just met him, and so I never felt that sort of passion towards all my teachers at school. 2 of them I did. I still keep in contact with, but the rest of them, there's just nothing that made me aspire to want to be like those teachers.
Which actually, bringing that up, it's funny that you said that you bought a course from Lewis Howes. Most people are like, why do you buy a course for business? You're like, you don't need to buy a course. Just get out there and do your own thing. Why are you buying, like taking somebody's ebook or taking somebody's course? But then when you said that, and what went through my mind too, was like, bought a course. You don't hear about most people who openly admit that they bought a course. Most people are like, I got this from myself. I did this by myself. I didn't get help from anybody. You hear people do that all the time. But then you also said this, what also went to my mind right after, we go to college. We're literally spending thousands of dollars kind of for a course that you literally said, I just spent $100, which went to college, you know.
I don't know how much the courses are at college, but I think at KU they're like maybe 700 or something like that. And you think about it, like I'm forced to go take a $700 class in Western Civ because at the time my mindset was like, just get the credit hours. Like it doesn't matter, just get the credit hours so that you graduate. Whereas then I'm sitting in my room and I'm like, I'm gonna stay up till 4 a.m. watching Lewis Howes because he gave a webinar, and I was fascinated by like how he had 15 people in this webinar that he recorded live inside of a studio, and he was making like $30,000 from this one live webinar, just from the people in the room that were paying him. Not to mention all the people on the back end like me who were spending $100 just to have that content. And he made it, and it lived on the shelves of like some storage website. The website's called Creative Live, and he gets residuals. So now he's getting like, he talks about it in his course. He's like, I get emails when he gets off the airplane. He goes from airplane mode to like non-airplane mode. He's like,
hey man, all that leftover hog meat, all that cat meat stuff left over.
and I'm like, all right, that's like how the world could work.
Right. Which is funny, now kind of breaking off, sorry guys, this ain't like a question that I already had came up, but it's funny like you said, like you don't have to do anything, because somebody's like, I want to do passive income. Like, let's not get fooled. Passive income is not just not doing anything, it's what he like, Lewis Howes set up a base and he worked hard to get that, and now it's coming into, but now, like you said, he don't have to like physically go to these people, they're coming to him.
I mean, think about what would happen if you could make money when you put your phone on airplane mode. That's passive income.
Right.
When it's airplane mode, that doesn't mean you stop working. You're just working on something else or something that may be more important to you. But you're still getting money. That's what I saw, and I was like, by the way, I've never done anything. I never built a business out of that course that was successful. But it just like, it kept me around. Like the proximity of like the idea that I could do it, I think has carried on to what I do now. And now I try to actually scale back all the information that I'm getting. It's like, okay, my colleagues, co-founders have told me like, yeah, you like to listen to podcasts, but you should maybe not listen to 7 a week and maybe listen to just one. And even like a few weeks ago, I listened to the same podcast like 3 times in that week. And I was like, I just want to listen to one, soak in all that information. So now I've scaled it back, but those first year was fun.
And another thing you brought up that I'm going to talk about, you said like your dad has his own business. He's like, well, I guess I'm gonna just walk into that and run that. What would you say to somebody out there right now who their family has a business and they're kind of looking at them, the family's looking at them like, hey, we need you to take this over. We need you to be this one, and they don't want to do it. What advice would you give to that person about like doing your own thing or like with the family business or how to handle that situation?
Yeah, I think the only advice I can give is that you need to take a second to know yourself. It's not about what your parents want. It's not about even what you think society wants you to do, like to become an entrepreneur. Like that's rare. I think you need to figure out what you want to do. And if your family has a liquor business and you love being sober and doing sports, I mean, maybe you shouldn't put yourself around alcohol. So it just depends, I guess, on what your family business is. There's also the alternative, which is like you could be really smart and you see a big opportunity to like take advantage of that family business or that. I said walk into it, but I mean, don't get me wrong. My dad was like, he had like a training program. Like he knew how I would like come up.
Yeah.
It wasn't like walking in, but think about how the things that you could be learning when you're working for your own family business or another business, how those skills could actually laterally transfer into some other job that you do later on. So find things that would help you carry over skills to the next thing.
Replay that, guys. Go back and replay that. That's some good stuff.
That's like how I've built everything that I think I've done. I learned skills from podcast, and then I took it to sailing, and then I took it from sailing to video. So there's always this like something that overlaps. If it's maybe your character traits or technical skills, there seems to be always something that's overlapping.
Okay, I want to talk about that selling part too, which is the second question here. So you went to school, went to college, and got a degree in entrepreneurship and business administration, correct?
Yes.
So now you're on this boat as a skipper, on this yacht. Not a boat, but on a yacht as a skipper. Did you pick up videography in that time frame, or where did videography come from? Did you like always say like, I want to be a videographer and have my own videographer business, or was it like, oh, I actually like doing this as a passion of mine, so I'm going to make this happen? How'd that come into play?
Yeah, I can't get the Drake song where he says, I'm on a yacht with all my dogs acting like some dogs. I can't get that, but I started making videos when I was in high school.
Okay.
And I started making them with my friends in the summer. It was my way of being the ringleader in a way, and being the director, and being like, I like to be assertive in a way that gets everyone around one vision.
Okay.
And so in the summers we made this game called Dirty Deeds, where we would just like run around the city and we would do like obstacles or like challenges, and like there was teams and they would challenge the other person to do something and get it on camera.
Okay.
One of the things would be like, sit at a stoplight while it's green and just like watch people go crazy. Like you're at the very front, right? And the lights go green and people behind you go crazy, and you just like film the reactions. Really? So stuff like that, nothing harmful, nothing dangerous, nothing illegal. But that was the birth. That was like the start of it. And it was something I found really fun because I was like, guys, I got this idea. Let's film it. And then I showed them the video at the end of the summer, and they're like, that was so much fun. Like we loved seeing ourselves. We loved that you filmed and like took the time to do all that. And that was kind of the last of it. And then I stopped for 4 years in college.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had video in high school, went to the fraternity in college, started drinking and just doing what everyone around me was doing. And then I picked it up later.
So when did you come back into video? Like when, what was it that made you like, I want to pick this up again and keep going?
Yeah, so a little context, what I did immediately after college was, during college I got a license to sail a boat. I'm certified as a captain on a sailboat, and I went to go work with this company. They're called the Yacht Week, and I have a boat every single week, maybe up to 8 to 10 weeks in the summers in Croatia, and this was just like brand new for me.
Okay.
So much fun. I was making videos on my cell phone just for Instagram in general because I knew people wanted to watch. But then as I got better week after week at my sailing job, I thought, how else can I make money? Because the entire job is not based around tips, but if you're getting tips, you know you're doing a really good job.
Okay.
You know you're taking them to the cliff jumping spots or like really good restaurants, and your hospitality and your service is really good. And
Customer service.
yeah, and I loved it. And like, I think I'm really good at that side of things when it comes to taking care of all these people. And I just wanted to see what else I could do to make their experience better.
Okay.
And I just said, why not start filming them? I knew where they were going to be. I knew where the fun things were. I remind you, like, I've been to the same location. I go to the same location every week.
Okay.
And so, like, I know the lay of the land,
Like
right?
the back of your hand.
Yeah. Like, I know Croatian islands. Like, there's these 3 islands, and I know them. Like, it's my second home.
Okay.
And so, like, I knew they were going to be arriving to the cove or, like, wherever we would anchor in 5 minutes. And I had the camera ready to get their reaction. And I just knew where to be and when to be.
That's awesome.
Places. And I edited it on my phone, sent it to them, and they all posted it on Instagram, and everyone was like, we freaking love this. And at the time I was like, how do I grow my Instagram? Why don't I just make videos for other people? But a little bit of combination, but it was really just making a better experience for someone else.
Guys, listen to that again. He started on his phone. Like, once again, start on your phone. You don't have anything. You don't need all the big fancy equipment right off the bat. Start on your phone and work your way from there.
Definitely, man. I mean, we gave this talk at Lee Tolbert Academy. It's a grade school for the underserved youth here in Kansas City. And we were like, how can you make a story? Just take a snapshot of yourself and then cut that story up into like 8 pieces. It doesn't have to be fancy. But if you can start recognizing how to tell a story, when you get those nice cameras, you're going to be like way ahead of everyone.
Right.
And that's what I wanted, was like, how do I get the good content that people want to watch? And at the time it was like, okay, well, I'm on these boats, I'm going to show them the fun stuff that I'm doing.
Nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about 80/80
Yep.
and Creators Group. But you got done being a skipper, you came back to America, or United States.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how quick was that transition from the skipper on the yacht to, the Creators Group? How quick was that jump, or was it like a time in between that you had, and then you was like, oh, I'm becoming a co-founder with this business, or was it like, bam, co-founder immediately off the boat or off the plane?
Yeah, so it was 2016, and I'd been traveling and sailing for about 1.5 years now, and my naive self was like, I do not want to come home. I don't want to come back to Kansas City. Like, I don't like Kansas City. And I found every opportunity that I could to like stay on an island. And I'm serious, I was a hermit. I lost myself. Like, I was just bumming in like this friend's apartment down in St. Croix, which is a U.S. Virgin Island. So it's a U.S. territory. I didn't need any like passports. I could stay there as long as I wanted. And that was like my thought, is like, I'm just gonna stay here.
Okay.
I don't want to come back. My mom came down to visit me, and she was like, Jack, you are off. Like, something's off. Like, you're not yourself. You either need to be sailing because you really love that. You really need to either be on those boats, or you need to come back and get a job or something, because you're not straight. And she was right. And so I started thinking more and more about what it is that I would like say hell yes to coming home to.
Okay.
And it was vlogging. I was watching Gary Vee, like
D-Rock.
Yeah.
Shout out to D-Rock out there.
Love it, dude. I was down on this island watching Gary Vee, and I'm just like, D-Rock is 21 years old, or 19 at the time, and he's running around with one of the most motivational, inspiring, successful business owners that we can find today on YouTube. And I'm sure there's a ton of them, right? But you could see this guy and you're like, I need that. Like, I want whatever D-Rock is doing. I want to be pushed. I want to like stay up all night. I want a mentor like that. And I didn't think that it was going to be the first one or two people that I came home and filmed, but I did think that I could make videos for somebody like Gary Vee and eventually like take every lesson that I learned and try to apply it in my own life. I thought about how I could take lessons. If I was filming someone, I could take those lessons and I could apply them in life. I'm doing my work for them by documenting what they say every day or an event, but I knew that I could apply whatever they said to me. And it was selfish, but like not, the mix between selfish and self-serving.
Yes, there you go.
I think self-serving and selfish are the same thing, but
sorry, not self-serving, but like not self-giving or selflessness.
Yeah, selflessness and self-serving. It was like a mix between the two. Because you gotta make some money, man. You gotta go film for some people, and so I hit up my friend Benton, and he was like, "Yeah, you can come vlog for me." He's got a nutrition company called Helio Today.
Okay.
And I followed him around for a year, so 2016 to 2017, and it was all nutrition. He taught me a lot about how to be self-aware in your own like body and what you eat and how that gives you energy.
Okay.
And so that's a big part of me now. But I was also vlogging for my dad's company, the travel agency. And that was paying the bills. My buddy's company wasn't really paying me, but they were giving me products. And I'm like, okay, there's a cool trade-off, a barter system. Like,
right.
What do I really want to do with this? And yeah, so after about a year doing that, I met. We used to go to high school together. Didn't necessarily know each other too well. Like, we weren't like homies.
Okay. Huh.
But we had the same last like name alphabet-wise. His last name's Austin, my name's Blake. So close in lockers, mutual friends who played baseball. We knew each other. We saw each other in the gym. We both played sports. We just never like really hung out. So I see him again like 5-6 years after college or after high school, and I'm like, hey, I hear you're like pretty successful and you built a business and you sold it. I am looking for more people who've built businesses and like know lessons like that. Can I come vlog for you? Can I come like listen to you speak to people and like whatever it is you do? And he's like, thanks, I'm flattered, but like I don't want that, but I do want to create a company like that. He'd been looking for a like media partner, somebody to build a media company with.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd been listening to Gary, but Jay's real intuitive, so like he just knew naturally the businesses that he was in needed media.
Yes.
And so if nobody else is doing it, I think he was thinking, how do I do it on my own? And that's kind of how it started, was, hey, let's pursue this. Let's go maybe try to find another person who wants to be a co-founder with us. And we ended up finding Jean. She is a product manager, and it was a startup weekend or something like that. And yeah, it just worked really well. We have 3 co-founders and it clicked.
Now, question about this, like when it comes to choosing business partners, like how did you guys like know like the right people to choose? Like you went to Jay because he saw he wanted to be successful, or he saw he wanted to create like a vlogging company, and he kind of like had an idea, so he chose you. But like as far as like trust and everything, how did you guys build that? Like was it always there, or is it kind of like growing pains with this?
Oh, definitely growing pains. Yeah, without a doubt. We're about a year in now, and I remember hearing somewhere that you should have spent time with someone for at least 1 year before you go into business with them. When I first saw Jay back in the States, I assumed that 1 year had already gone through. Like, because I knew him in high school, it's like, oh, we're good.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually not, it's not that simple. I now know more about Jay after this last year than I'd ever known about him. And so now, and Gene, but I'm like right next to Jay almost every day. And so it's just been kind of fun. Now I'm like, okay, the timing was perfect. We balance each other out. Like, I thought about how he is sort of like the fire and the execution and the igniter, and I'm more of like the water who's like flowing inside, I don't know, opportunities or stuff like that. And
Yeah.
and him and I like go back and forth, like balance really well. But when it comes to choosing those people, know them for at least maybe a year, and a year goes by fast, and you'll find out that you spend a whole year with someone and you've agreed not to get paid necessarily as a starting company. You find out if they're really in this for the long haul or not, and maybe it's lucky, but maybe we're just kind of like good at picking our friends and seeing something in other people. But I think our trio is dynamite.
Dynamite. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But like if Jay's got a lot on his plate and we have co-founder meetings every other week, and if he's got a lot on a plate and he's like, yeah, I want to make this decision, Gene and I can be like, are you sure, dude? I think you're a little stressed out. Maybe take a day and like go hit the gym, or I don't know, like lower the stress level and let's think more on it.
All three of you guys, like, y'all balance each other out, y'all.
Yeah, it's fun because Jean is actually in Alabama right now. She doesn't live here. And I say fun because the idea of building a company remote sounds fun to me. This gets back to the 4-hour work week.
Yes.
And I think it helps us be lean. We need to like try to be maybe more lean, but yeah, so far it's been going good. We talk regularly, once a week. I mean, once every few days. Jay might talk to her every day. Like, yeah, they got a great relationship.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, a little bit of luck, but a little bit of, we knew the exact position that we needed to make this happen. I was video, and I was like the one experienced in video. We need somebody who was gonna like manage the sales and the client side of things, and then we needed somebody who was going to oversee the projects. So if Jay gets a bunch of clients in here, who's going to handle the customer service and like the flow of communication between the videographer and the client, and then is the videographer going to do the job, like get it all done? And so that first year was, oh man, like we have 4 people asking us to make video, but we only have enough to say yes to 2.
Okay.
How are we going to do this? All right, let's go find another videographer. We found Betty. And so now we're just like finding what are our strengths. For instance, Betty is just a powerhouse. She will sit down and just edit.
Nice.
And that's like, we need like 10 of those.
So the team just constantly growing. Okay, so now you guys went from 80/80. You guys like shifted your name and rebranded your company to the Creators Group. Like the evolution of that. Like what was the thought process of like, okay, 80/80 is not working, we gotta change it up. Like what was that caused you guys to shift it and change to the Creators Group and go from like more of a vlogging company to I said middleman, and maybe you can explain it better, but I think you guys as a middleman or an agent of videographers and getting videographers to clients or to companies that need somebody to do their videos and content.
Yeah, definitely. The evolution was plain and simple. We picked that name because we wanted to go fast, and then we just wanted to start getting clients, and like we just wanted to start our business. We weren't going to get hung up on the name, and so we said, yeah, we might change it later.
Okay.
The further after that was people were like, is it 80/80? Like they didn't know how to ask what is the company name, and we didn't know exactly what we were saying when we were explaining it. It came from the idea of the Pareto's principle, a lot of people didn't know what Pareto's principle was. And so then now I'm explaining what the 80-20 rule is and how we like turn up the volume of the perception by putting cameras on you. And they're like, okay, cool. So you make everyone think that you're everywhere because you have cameras on you. And we're like, yeah. And they're like, I still don't understand why it's 80-80. It's like, it's all right, whatever. Like, we weren't really selling people on our name. We were selling people on what we were talking about inside the meetings with them.
Okay.
The luckiest or the coolest part of our sales so far, sales cycle, is that we've been able to get into the room and sort of convince some people who are more traditional that times are changing when it comes to video. And when we convince them and like show them how they should be approaching video, they just kind of go with us, and then we get referrals and spread the word. But
nice.
Yeah. So 80-80, then we changed our name to Creators Group because we understood that the people who make the videos are really the ones that we got to say thank you to. Like, we are nothing without the videographer, the creator, in a sense. Real tactical, we changed the name Creators Group we changed our name to Creators Group because we looked at the forecast for what the world is going to need by like 2022 or something like that.
Okay.
And if you look at Mexico and like India, that specialized jobs in the creative field are rising. And we're like, okay, well, we kind of get that. We know that people need video and creators. Let's take advantage of that. But yeah, so we're a group of people that just love making videos and having fun doing it. But
nice.
Super businessy side of things too.
Now, is the Creator Group, is that your full-time job? Do you have anything else? This is just it? Like,
right now, this is just it. I live at home with my mom, save money there. I just got a job at Lululemon, so I'll go work retail on the weekends.
okay.
I told them straight up my goals are to make videos for them, and they loved it. And they're like,
Really?
perfect, cool, we need video.
And this is not like this, because Lululemon is a global
Big company, yeah,
so
huge company.
The retail company, the retail store is okay with you doing that.
They needed somebody on the weekends, so I start in like 2 weeks. But for this last year, no, I've only had film as my job. Worked odd jobs here or there, but I'm just trying to make this work. And I gave up drinking, even for reasons of like saving money. And I'm like, if I say yes to alcohol, then I lose money, and that's money that doesn't go into the business.
Smart.
So it's like I'm sacrificing things like that. I sacrificed going on the yacht week this year. I said I can't go. I need to spend that time, that energy, and that money into our business. I couldn't go for 5 weeks or 8 weeks.
5 weeks, wow.
I mean, it could be like 13 weeks. Like,
wow.
So maybe one day it'll be like 3 months.
So you're literally putting your head down and literally grinding and putting the work in to get to your goals, which a lot of people will say, I'm doing this, but then I'm also doing that. And so you're literally like saying, like, no, I gotta make sacrifices now because I know later in the future I can do those things again if I want to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 25. How old are you?
26.
Okay, like, we will never have this opportunity again at this youth and this like energy level of our youth and to do the things that we want to. And so I would be super regretful if I didn't take full advantage of trying to make something with this company while I had the time. I mean, I know that I'll be able to like go sell me and myself inside any job. I mean, just by telling them the Yacht Week story,
right.
Just by telling them that I became a sailor. I mean, that was one of Jay's like first things he told me. He was like, "You went and did that sailing thing. Yeah, I can build a company with you. You know, there's like you did something crazy. I have trust. Like I trust you." And so I knew that in the back of my mind that I could always go get a job somewhere. I mean, the Lululemon job, they know my story,
right? And
they're like, "This is crazy. He's adventurous. He's courageous. Yeah, we gotta get him in here.
Get him in here.
Yeah." And so, luckily, I mean, all those things worked out. I worked hard for him, but If you can find a way to stand out, like you're gonna do really well when it comes to like, what do I do next? It's like, okay, well, you might have a lot of options of things you can do next. And don't be so afraid of them. Just go do one.
Repeat. Go back. Listen to that again. All right, Jack. So next question here. Like, how did you guys create brand awareness on like Instagram and YouTube, and how did you create it organically? Because like a lot of people, when you have money, you can just throw ads and stuff like that, and also you see all these sponsors on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. YouTube don't really see sponsors that much unless you're like one of those big ones.
They're
like,
big companies.
Yeah, but like Instagram, you can definitely do it. I'm starting noticing people like regular people going, hey, I'm now a travel blogger, and now I have the, no offense or anything like that. I didn't think about that as I said it out loud, like travel blogger, but like you actually did like travel, but like somebody like, yeah, no, just go around the city, which that's a thing. Food for thought here, somebody who want to do this, but like just travel around your city and like just vlog around like your city. That's a thing you want to make money off of. You can try it, but
micro travel.
Ooh, I like that. But like they put like a sponsored ad on it, and all of a sudden like check out my page or check out this. I'm like, okay, like you're paying for it, you're not getting it organically. So how did you guys get it organically before doing like paid ads if you had to?
Yeah, just like a preface for this, like we have 880 followers on our Instagram, and we love every single one of you, but like that's not crazy. And so this question, like to me, is like, you know, you're doing it organically, but you have this perception that we're like crushing it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because of maybe the content that we're posting. And so we listen to what you're asking and saying right now. I'm not looking necessarily at our numbers compared to the majority of the world, or what you think the majority is, which everyone thinks everyone else has a million followers. Mm-hmm. No, that's not how it actually is. What we have tried to do is show first our culture, and these are some of our priorities for our company, but first the culture. And that could be like memes. I remember like one of the first times that Rob, he's going to come in here pretty soon, but Rob was like working on videos. He's a videographer, and he was like, we should make a meme department. And we're like, yeah, we totally should. Like, what do you need to start that? Because that sounds hilarious. And so he started making memes, and then we would post these like memes on the Instagram, and people loved it. And we're like, all right, check, keep memes in the basket. Like, start building up your, I call them styles, but like categories of content that you want to create, and see what people say and how they respond, and whatever they respond well to, do more of. And that's really what we've been doing. We try to do educational, we try to do inspiring, we try to do like POV, so like here's my thoughts right after a shoot. Like, here's what the breakdown is of why I had such a good time at this shoot or this project versus this project. And when they do that, and like when our creators do that, it gives us more intel or insight into where should we go get new clients from.
That's smart.
Yeah, like, okay, Jack likes health and nutrition. He has talked a lot about the project that he's working on outside of the actual project, so maybe we should go get him more because he's enthusiastic about it.
Nice.
So we try to find things that are that make us excited, make us smile, trying to be educational.
Provide value, pretty much. Try to provide value.
Yeah, it all comes back to give, ask, like Gary Vaynerchuk's
jab, right hook.
Yeah, jab, right hook, and like he even talks about in that book, it should be just like jab, right hook. And
right.
I don't know if people understand that concept because it takes years.
Yeah, it's not something that happens overnight. It's it's a slow game, as he calls it. It's the slow game.
Yeah.
And when you do finally get something, you're like, don't you like, hey, buy from me because I gave you this. No, like you said, hey, I have this out here. Do you want to check this out? Will you be interested in this?
Yeah, and there's a few strategies we can go into that we did. But for the most part, we just try to give value to people, and we just try to have fun. Like we first said, we want to look back on this in 10 years and be like, look at us, like we were such goofballs. Or like we had so much fun, and that you just looked over at the map of all the places we've been.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so we want to like be able to look at our Instagram and be like, remember when we were in Pennsylvania? Like, look at all those things that we were doing. And so the first thing we wanted to do was make it for us.
Nice.
And like, here's what we were. That's our company. Those are our origin stories.
I would say this. This is me, like being somebody who appreciates somebody who like work hard and do the right things and don't cut corners. I want to say thank you, both you and to the company, because I even noticed your Instagram, you have over 2,000 followers, but also I looked at like one of your recent posts, it had like 92 likes, which showed me that you're people who actually look at your stuff are real people who are genuinely engaged into your or into what you're posting. They're not fake people who are just, oh, this is a whole Instagram DM group and now I'm gonna go blow up your post.
Oh yeah.
Like,
which is not a horrible thing to do. We've been talking about it. We don't do them yet, but like,
I personally not a fan of it because it's like, oh, now you're taking away the organicness from it. Now like somebody feel like they have to go do that to get a bunch of people to sit there and like. And Entrepreneur did a whole, I talked about this in another video I had, with another interview, but Entrepreneur did the whole, like, this is how it's done. And you do it for a whole month or two, and now your following count and your likes have went from where you are to 10,000 or wherever the case may be. And I'm like, I see why you guys do it, because the perception, sometimes people say perception is reality, but at the same time, you kind of like, I don't know, it's not 100% authentic. So I want to say thank you guys right off the bat. I know you say you're thinking about doing it, but I want to say thank you for being genuine right off the bat.
Yeah, I dig the opposition because there's part of you that needs to play the game, right? Mm-hmm. You want to try to get to 10,000 followers so that you can run an ad on Instagram stories. That's valuable. Like, you might want to try to get there. So yeah, like there's that double-edged sword of like playing the game of the algorithms that Instagram's giving you versus being organic and natural. I will tell you, after this podcast, I will go comment on every single one of your Instagrams. Because now I know you, and now I'm like going to look for it. One thing that I do is I turn on notifications for people that I admire, I like, I'm inspired by, and especially the creators in this area, so that when they do post, it says David Sosna posted a video, Ali posted a video, and now I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to go comment on them because I do know the struggles that it takes to get more followers. So you're doing it organically. I think that's what we've been doing, is like we try to hang out with people. I'm not going to by any means ask you to go comment on our videos. Right. But if you had a good time with me like today, you know, it's probably not that hard to see if you're like, when you're commenting, it's like, oh, okay, well, he probably had a good time. Right. Yeah. And like this interview's been pretty great too, and listen to you guys and listen to you and see where you guys' vision is. But yeah, that's interesting. It's both. Yeah, but I haven't done it yet. We were talking about it just because we have these guys who want to build their personal brands. They want the Matt Comos and Sam Colders and the Gary V's to like see that they're growing. It is valuable. Yeah. So I guess guys, sorry, I didn't interrupt you there. No. So you guys do decide to take that approach. At least be 100% authentic. When somebody asks you how'd you get there, at least say, I had a DM group, I did this and I did that to get my following count. Just saying like, oh, you know, because I can't stand people like entrepreneurs and people out there like, yeah, I did this the hard way. I sit there and grind my butt off and sit there and like, dude, somebody gave you this money and you're just gonna sit there and pretend that you got there. Like, there's a few people I can think of. I'm talking bigger people who don't give you the whole story. They just tell you what they want you to know, and they say all of a sudden, this is the book's my background, and this is my Ferrari. Not trying to say names, but if you're into the entrepreneurship world. I bought his course once. Oh, how was that? It was fun. I learned a lot about Facebook. Oh, yeah. At least he's providing value somehow. But he's not showing you one thing he doesn't show that's how he has done it too. He's made courses, but yeah. A little sour about that one, but anyway, he also was on Lewis House podcast and would not give Lewis the time of day. No, I wouldn't. I remember that. It bothered me. I was like, that's. And Lewis's intro was like, he didn't really give me things. Yeah, Lewis did give us a heads up. Like, I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going on a tangent there. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, be authentic with it. If you do decide to do that, be authentic. Like how the creator group's authentic, how Jack's authentic. Be 100%. Be honest. Like that goes a long way. That people genuinely care about that, and people will work with you more and want to be around you because you are authentic. They will follow you because you are authentic. So be yourself. And sorry, I'm not trying.
No.
Let me stop because I don't want to take over from the fact that you're having such a great. Like this has been great. My next question to ask you: what advice would you give somebody out there who want to start their own business, who has started a business, or who are currently going through the process, the growing pains and all that? What advice would you give to somebody? And that's 3 different topics.
Yeah, it's
so
big.
Sorry, but
I'll just rattle off, the first things that come to my mind. The first is maybe go get The Effective Executive by Peter Drucker, which is like effectiveness can be learned. And then he talks about knowing your time. And then what are you contributing? Because what I've learned so far is that everything takes longer than you think. Just the other day, I switched from saying this company is going to take 3 years until it's like up and running and like I'm getting paid a handsome amount for my position. And just the other week I was like, dude, it's going to take 5 years, not 3 years. It's like it's going to take more of the time than you ever think. That's probably the first. The second is you can do anything you want. If it's your company, like you can make it anything you want. And I'm not trying to say that in a shady or like manipulative way. I'm trying to say like if you don't enjoy what you're doing, like fucking change it.
Right.
Like if you literally don't like sending out emails till 2 a.m, go hire an assistant who can help you source those emails so that there's less. You have every ability to like make it whatever you want. And in this last few months, we did this rebranding, and that's where we became Creators Group. And one of the things that we did was ask everyone, like, we are rebranding. What is it that is going to drive you and like make you wake up, or what is it that's going to make you stay up till 4 a.m? And in my department, it was like, what do you want to edit? What do you want to shoot that's going to make you either wake up or stay up? And my answer was like, I want to teach. Like I want to like tell people how I'm doing the videos, how I make myself go faster, and how to like do self-development, like how to find your best self kind of thing. So luckily my team has allowed me, and we've looked at them and our team, and we've said, what are your strengths? Is this really what you want to do? And they all say yes. And we're like, all right, go. Because it's more than just money. It's more than like time. It's like when you're in the process, when you're in that grind, in that startup grind, like you need to be passionate about it. You need to have another reason why you're doing it. And that was one of our, that was one of my key takeaways from this rebranding, was like my whole team did a lot just to make sure that I can do something that I'm really, really excited about. And it's been like a great 4 or 5 weeks since that rebranding.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. Get that book. There's another book. It's called Anything You Want by Derek Sivers. Very good. 4-hour work weeks, not for everyone. Like, I just like books, so like I will tell people to get books.
Like audio, like audio books, or just like really like paper and.
I do some hardback books. I did this the other day, but I ripped out a page of the book and I put it up on our wall over there, and it just kind of like left a lasting imprint in my mind. Like, oh my God, I ripped a book. And so like, I like the books. I definitely do the audiobooks because I drive about 30 minutes to work every day. But yeah, find team members. This last week, I did a task that could have been done in like 1-2 hours, and I waited too long to call my co-founder Jean. I was working on that thing for like 5 hours, and then I called her and we got it done in like 2, and I'm like, okay, just call her next time.
Right.
So like find people you can call, find good mentors, and that's like pretty generic and like hard to do, easy to say, but consider who is in your circle. Like, really consider the idea that if you're listening to a podcast, then that person is in your circle for the day. They can become your mentor.
Yes.
Find someone who's done it before you and ask to shadow them. Men specifically always want the map. They always want like the roadmap. And so if you can find any ways to get the roadmap, do it. But I mean, don't think that that has to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Think about more about you can do anything you want and you can create your own roadmap. You just need to be able to stop and look around and know where you're at. Like, don't necessarily have this like grand vision of where you're going. Just understand that you're okay with like jumping in a car and not knowing that destination, but you're okay with where you're at. Like, you pulled up and you got out and it's Kansas City and you're like, this is great, this is cool. What can I do right here, right now to make my business better? Okay. And then get back in the car and keep going. Who knows where you're gonna go? Right. But wherever you're at, be present and like try to understand where you're at. Like, be able to look on whatever map and say, I'm at this place right now.
Replay that. Go back and replay that. Rewind that. Stop the video. Rewind and listen to that again, because that was good. That was good.
Yeah, it's just all about being, grateful about where you're at. You could look at where you're at and be like, this sucks. And if you ask why you suck so much, you're going to get the answers why you suck so much. But if you ask, how in the world can I just make this moment even better, you're going to get answers that help you discover how to make that moment better. What you ask is what you get. So if you ask a better question, you'll get better answers.
It's dope. I like that. Dude. Okay, so the last question, actually before I jump to the last question, Jack, I want to say thank you for coming on to this episode. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all you're doing, man. And I hope you and the creative group continue to keep growing and keep getting better. And, you guys take the ceiling you're at now and just keep pushing it higher until you get to your destination. So keep it up. And heck, maybe Kansas City be the spot, like be that place where you guys dominate in the field, or maybe be who knows, maybe be global. Like, I hope you guys keep reaching your goals and keep going. But last question to you: How do you define success?
Oh man, thank you for the compliments.
No problem.
I love it. I hope we take over the Midwest at start. But success to me is success equals happiness. And I heard a while back that happiness equals reality minus expectations. So figure out a way to make your reality what you want, and then reduce the amount of expectations you have about that reality. Like, does that make sense?
Yes.
Don't try to force something. Like, don't try to make yourself think that it has to be perfect. Just be grateful for the reality that you have, and happiness will be there. And happiness is different for everyone, but there is an equation for success, which is like, I don't have the exact equation, right?
Yeah,
but it's like, you do need finances. You do need money. And so money will make you happy. You do need community and people around you. So those things will make you happy. You need purpose and meaning with the words that you're saying to other people around you. Not just like the people are great, but like even what you're saying to them, you need to have some meaning. And I guess there's a few other ones, like basic stuff like shelter and stuff like that.
Yeah, the basic necessity.
Yeah.
What was it?
Maslow's hierarchy.
Yep, that's what I was saying. I was thinking of.
Yeah, and even in Maslow's hierarchy, one of the very first basics is food and nutrition. And so success in my mind is feeding yourself the right stuff. Feeding yourself the right stuff, both nutritionally, like food and digestion wise, but also mind and spirit. And you can get that from a variety of different ways, but that's really what I'm trying to work on a lot. That's awesome. How to be that happy in the decisions I'm making.
That's awesome. But Jack, thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Grind Towards Success. Matter of fact, Jack, where can they find you at? Like, when they want to go look you up right now, where can they find you at?
So my personal Instagram is jackblake.today. You can hit me up in the DMs over there, comment on any of my stuff. Some of it's recent, a lot of travel stuff. Or you can go over to Creators Group, and the Creators Group Instagram is CreatorsGRP at the moment. Maybe we'll get the actual account name later on, but go to both of those. I'm pretty active on there. If you ever want to really reach out, like, I can give you guys my phone number and put it in the show notes or something like that. But yeah, those are two great places, and we try to be very active on there.
And where can they find Creators Group they want to look at besides social media?
Creatorsgroup.com. So we got the website, and yeah, if you're ever interested in like making videos, we have academies coming up, and we're just really interested in mentoring these creators. So that's my biggest goal over the next year, is to build these communities of people who are learning and growing with each other.
Jack, once again, thank you, man. That's pretty awesome. And I hope you get the group together and you guys get out there and you can teach them all and help them become better videographers and help them grow their content. And guys, I want to say thank you guys once again for watching this episode of Grind Towards Success. I really appreciate it. Jack, one last time, thank you for coming on. See you guys next time. Also, before you go, please like, subscribe, share, follow. This will be all over the place. This is going to be on SoundCloud, Facebook, YouTube. Clips will be on Instagram. Might have some on IGTV, maybe. But thank you guys once again. I really appreciate it. See y'all next time. Keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment in the comment section below, and please subscribe for more episodes of Grind Towards Success, movie breakdowns, or whatever it is you're watching on my channel. I have different stuff from interviews to other movie reviews to wrestling reviews. If you're a wrestling fan, please subscribe if you want to see all that and see what's going on. Also, you can follow me on Snapchat here, follow me on Instagram there to see what I'm doing in my personal life as well as my business and Ninja Warrior. And lastly, you can watch the last episode of Grind Towards Success here. You can watch the last episode of movie breakdowns there. Thank you guys once again. I really appreciate it. See you next time. Keep being awesome.